This is the divorce papers. I've filled in my part.
I see.
Also, the severance pay and savings are all mine. You better apply for welfare.
We've been married 30 years. All this time I've been serving a domineering husband, even caring for his parents while being bullied by them. There's no room for compassion left for my husband, who degrades me at this divorce agreement. There's someone I'd like you to meet.
What? Did you find a new man or something?
Looking at the man sitting next to me, my husband turned pale. My name is Emily. I'm a 60-year-old housewife. I married my husband, Daniel, 30 years ago. Back then, I was in my 30s, long past my prime. To get married, I was deemed the woman left on the shelf. I thought I would have no chance getting married. But then, an arranged date was proposed. The man from the date, Daniel, was the same age as me, shy, not very good at talking with women.
I've never had a girlfriend before.
I, who was also shy and had never dated a man before, sympathized with Daniel's confession. Moreover, I found Daniel, who spoke honestly without pretending to be sincere, and agreed to continue dating him. Our relationship, both in our 30s and shy, developed smoothly.
Emily, will you marry me?
Yes, I would love to. The year after our first date, I received a marriage proposal from Daniel, and we got happily married. Immediately after the marriage, we started living together in an apartment. Then I started to see a side of Daniel I had known before we got married. He was like the embodiment of a traditional father figure from the 80s, primarily quiet and serious. He never failed to go to work on time every morning, leaving work at the end of the day and coming back home. A domineering man, he would seriously tell me to follow 3 steps behind me. However, he occasionally came home late after drinking with his colleagues. At those times, he would act like a child saying, "I can't move anymore. Help me take my clothes off." But at the time, I even found that adorable. A year after our marriage, I became pregnant and gave birth to our daughter, Emma, when I was 32. Emma was indeed a gem of a child. After giving birth, while I was feeding Emma milk in the hospital room, Daniel suddenly suggested that we live with his parents.
Once Emma grows up, our current apartment will become too small. If we live together, we can save on rent, and my mom can help look after Emma, right? It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Thinking life would be easier for me as well, I agreed to his suggestion. But I never thought this would be the start of my misfortune.
Why did you give birth to a girl? She can't be the heir. Once we started living with his parents, my mother-in-law started shaming me for giving birth to a girl. Then my father-in-law would say, "Well, if that's the case, just keep trying with Daniel every night until the boy is born," and throw inappropriate, even sexually inappropriate words at me. What's wrong with these people? Feeling pained by the words and actions directed towards me, I tried to discuss my father-in-law's situation with Daniel. However, he dismissed me, saying, "Don't bother me with such matters every time. I'm exhausted from work." And the bullying from my in-laws was a daily occurrence. Due to my introverted personality and having married late, I felt insecure and couldn't stand up to my in-laws. I had endured this for quite some time. Nearly 30 years had passed since then, and I had been caring for my in-laws. "Emily, you still haven't prepared my meal? You slowpoke." "Mother-in-law, haven't you eaten 30 minutes ago?" My mother-in-law had developed dementia and would often repeat herself. My father-in-law, on the other hand, had already become bedridden and could no longer converse properly. My husband Daniel was nowhere to be seen in this zoo-like house. "I'm home." Daniel often came home late at night and often wouldn't even eat dinner. He'd just take a bath and go straight to bed. Of course, we hadn't had a proper conversation in a long time. Once the caregiving for my in-laws is over, I can live leisurely with Daniel. Daniel was looking at retiring in about 6 months, and I was getting through the care of my in-laws by looking forward to life with Daniel after that. However, an event occurred that shattered even this ordinary dream.
Emily, can we talk?
I was called by Daniel for the first time in a while, and I hurried over to him. "What's up, Daniel?"
I've decided to quit my job.
I was feeling a bit brighter due to this rare conversation with my husband, but this statement by my husband threw me into despair, as if I got thrown off by a roller coaster ride. "Huh? What do you mean?"
There's nothing to it. I've decided to quit my job this month.
"What? So suddenly? Did something happen at work? You're close to retiring."
Taken aback by my husband's unexpected statement, I inadvertently raised my voice. Perhaps offended, Daniel retorted in a firm voice. It's my life, and there's nothing wrong with doing what I want. I've been working diligently every day. I'm fed up with this monotonous life and want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. You're doing whatever you want to.
"What do you mean I'm doing whatever I want? I mean, there's also the matter of caring for your parents, and I thought it would be better to save as much money as possible." I was so confused that I couldn't organize my thoughts. So the issue of the in-laws' care that I'm currently facing came to mind, and I mentioned the cost of it.
I knew it. You were after my money. You've been with me for money. I won't give you a penny, not even my retirement payout. You turned out to be exactly as they said. I was even more confused by Daniel's statement on top of my earlier confusion.
"Huh? No, I mean, realistically, we don't know how long the care will continue."
So that's how you're going to play dumb. Always saying caregiving when you get asked what you do with your spare time? Do you have another man, What's up?
What on earth is he talking about? I really didn't understand what he was saying at the time. Caring for the in-laws, who can't be left alone, there's no way I could have time for an affair. Rather, he eats what's prepared in the morning, goes to work, and at night he doesn't even touch the prepared meal, just goes straight to bed. Somehow, he's always out on his days off. Isn't it him who's living a self-centered life without lending me a hand?
Despite such thoughts, I desperately tried to clear up this misunderstanding.
No, I absolutely don't have the luxury to do that. I don't even have any spare time. Even with grocery shopping, I only spend about 30 minutes at the nearby market. It's only because they are the parents of my beloved husband that I'm doing this much, even sacrificing my time to care for my in-laws. Why can't Daniel understand that? It was so perplexing.
Shut up. There are people who say they've seen you walking with a man, and I'll never forgive you.
Daniel's accusations over something I really had no memory of pushed me to the brink of confusion. And then the accumulated fatigue caused me to feel dizzy. I can't handle this anymore. I need to get out of here for a bit. Feeling dizzy, I managed to grab my regular handbag and jacket, then ran towards the front door.
See, you're going to meet that man, aren't you? Isn't that right?
Daniel continued hurling insults until I put on my sandals at the entrance and opened the door to step outside. I ran out of the house for about a mile till his voice faded. I was so shocked that I even forgot to breathe. When I couldn't hear Daniel's voice anymore and walked a bit in the night breeze, I pondered on what to do next. But my thoughts were jumbled, and though I hesitated, I ended up calling Emma, my daughter who's currently living alone. "Hello, Mom? It's been a while." The moment Emma answered the phone, tears started flowing uncontrollably. Mom, your father..."
I couldn't stop sobbing and could not manage to articulate the situation to Emma.
Whoa, Mom, what happened? Are you okay? Calm down. Let's start by calming down, okay?
Emma, sensing my distress, tried to soothe me. After walking a bit, I found a park and decided to take a break on a bench. I was sobbing so much that I couldn't speak, but Emma kept me on the line, checking on me.
Emma, I'm sorry. I must have surprised you calling out of the blue.
After a few tens of minutes, I managed to calm down and started speaking again.
No, it's okay. Where are you now?
I'm at M Park near our house right now.
Oh, I remember playing there a lot when I was a kid. Is Zest, the diner, still there?
I looked up and saw the sign of the chain diner across the street.
Yes, it's still there. Okay, I'll come pick you up. So just go into the diner and wait for me. You can order something if you want. I'll pay for it. Okay, I'll wait there. Thank you.
Feeling my daughter's kindness, I entered the diner. After about an hour, Emma arrived at the diner.
Mom, something serious must have happened. You were crying so much.
Emma, thank you.
Your father said something terrible to me.
I told Emma about what had happened earlier. Emma listened to my story with a serious gaze, intently watching me. When I finished speaking, she sat quietly thinking for a while. Then after finishing the coffee she had ordered upon arrival, she turned to me.
Mom, first of all, stay at my place starting from today. You don't need to go back to that place.
Also, there are a few things I'm curious about, so why don't we head back to my place for a bit, she said. I felt grateful for how strong and dependable my daughter had grown up to be. Although I was worried about caring for my in-laws, I was exhausted and couldn't go on. I decided to rest and rely on Emma for today. Thank you. I'll take you up on your offer, I said. As we left the cafe, Emma took my hand and hailed a taxi to head back to her apartment. Emma was currently working as a writer for a camping magazine. She always enjoyed camping and often does solo camping trips, sharing her experiences on her blog and social media. Originally, she worked as a corporate employee for a general trading company, but with the recent boom in camping, she was scouted via her social media and decided to switch to being a freelance writer. I guess this career as a writer suits her temperament. Nowadays, she contributes articles to magazines not only about camping, but on various topics, making a living. You've always devoted yourself to Dad and the in-laws, Mom. It's unthinkable that they would suspect you now, she said. As we turned off the lights and settled in for the night, Emma began speaking to me. You know, ever since I was little, I thought the way the in-laws treated you was odd, she said. It was clear from the way she referred to my in-laws, calling them the in-laws rather than by their names, that she didn't harbor any good feelings towards them. Moreover, Dad's attitude toward you is strange, too. He treats you like a maid, and even if the in-laws are being mean to you, he doesn't help at all, she added. I was surprised by how well Emma understood the dynamics of our household. Belatedly, I was astonished by my daughter's insightful ability. But your father is busy, I said, trying to defend him. That's the thing that's bothering me, she replied. What do you mean, bothers you? Oh, don't worry about it, Mom. You're tired today. Let's just sleep. Huh? Yes, you're right. I am utterly worn out today. See? You can relax now. Good night. Yes, good night. 3 days after, I started staying at Emma's. I was preparing dinner when Emma, who had been out on a reporting assignment, came home. Oh, what a wonderful smell. Your cooking always smells the best, Mom. Oh, it's been years since I heard you say that. Let's eat while it's hot, I replied. Emma washed her hands and sat at the table.
I served the loaded potato soup and sat down as well. Emma finished her plate in no time, happily praising the taste as she ate. After the dishes away, she brought out a coffee and an envelope, sitting back at the table. Then she began to speak with a serious expression. "Mom, please stay calm when you hear this. Actually, I hired a detective to track and investigate what Dad has been doing these past 3 days." I was so surprised that I choked on my soup. "Huh? Investigate Dad? What do you mean?" "Well, after listening to your stories, there were some things that got me curious. Like, why does Dad always come home late? And who was the one who tattled about you walking with a man?" Seems like Emma's innate insight caught up with Daniel's strange behavior. Being a writer, she had a broad network of connections. This time, her private investigator was also someone she got to know from her connection. "Please calm down and listen. According to the report from the investigator, it turns out that Dad was having an affair with another woman." "What?" I felt my mind go blank. Not only did Daniel suspect me of cheating, but he himself was having an affair. Emma showed me the reports and photos that she had received from her contact. Indeed, there was a picture of Daniel arm in arm with a woman looking quite intimate. This woman's name is Lily, and she's 51 years old. She works at a bar that Dad goes to near our house. Even though Lily is 51, she looked like she's in her 40s, wearing a flamboyant dress with a black background and a pattern of red roses. Dad has been going to that bar every day for years and seems to have become quite close with Lily. Emma relayed the investigator's report to me in a matter-of-fact manner. "Can you believe he would betray us like this? While Mom is busy taking care of Grandma and Grandpa, every day he's out having an affair with another woman. Indeed, it's unbelievable. I have been living on the edge without any spare time to even consider such things. I thought I might have been at fault when Daniel suspected me of having an affair, but now anger is welling up inside me at Daniel's cold actions. It seems that for the past 3 days, Dad has been hanging out at Lily's house. Apparently, he's hired someone to take care of Grandma and Grandpa, and it seems it's not even a professional caregiver. He's left his own parents entirely in the hands of someone who's not even a professional caregiver while he's out enjoying himself with his mistress. I'm so disappointed to think that I've loved such a man until now. I didn't know Daniel was like this. I can't believe it." "Right. Seeing how Dad is, I've never really had a good impression of marriage. I'm sorry, but it's always seemed more like an employer-employee relationship between you and him." "You're right, Emma. I've woken up now. I want to divorce that man and take revenge." "Okay, if that's the case, I'll help you." From there, we, as a mother-daughter team, began to prepare our revenge against Daniel and Lily. First, we asked the private investigator who had caught Daniel in the act of the affair to continue gathering evidence. Then we received definitive proof, such as a photo of Daniel and Lily boldly kissing on the street in front of the bar where Lily works. I can't believe he can do something so shameful without any shame. Additionally, the private investigator who had infiltrated the bar recorded a conversation between Daniel and Lily. "Has your wife left and not come back?" It's refreshing without that boring woman around. She's probably with the man you mentioned." "But aren't you worried that your daughter might demand your retirement fund?" "There's no way she would have the guts to say such things. She's even resigned from a large corporation and stooped down to some trifling job. She probably doesn't even know that she can claim some amount." "Hey, you're right. I'll book that luxury hotel right away with your severance pay. Looking at the city lights at night. Oh, how exciting. Are you coming over tonight?" "Yeah, of course." Each time evidence like this surfaced, I harbored resentment for Daniel, mixed with anger. Once I gathered enough such evidence, I went to consult with a lawyer about divorce. Given your husband's clear infidelity, you can naturally claim compensation for emotional distress and a share of property. The lawyer mentioned that I could also demand compensation from Daniel's mistress, Lily. Furthermore, as Daniel had neglected my in-laws' care and forced it all onto me, it seemed I could request compensation for that. Now we need some proof to rebut the claim that you are having an affair with another man. To prove that I was not having an affair, I got a recorded data from the surveillance camera that we used to monitor our in-laws. This was something Emma had installed when she returned home 2 years ago. To slightly alleviate my burden, she had it professionally installed. I had Emma set it up so I could watch the footage on my phone, but I couldn't figure out how to use it, and I totally forgotten that we even had one. According to Emma, the data captured by surveillance camera is stored in a distant data center for 365 days. Since Emma had contracted the service and was taking care of the monthly payments, Daniel had no knowledge of the camera's existence. Emma operated the computer and obtained the recorded data. Playing back the data made it clear how I was essentially housebound due to caregiving duties. The recordings also captured the verbal abuse I was receiving from my in-laws. There's also a perfect recording when you stormed out of the house. They really had some nerve, didn't they? Being traumatized, I couldn't bring myself to watch it, but Emma, who had seen it, was visibly livid. After making these preparations, and just as we were about to strike, I received a call from Daniel. "Hey, Emily, when are you going to stop wandering about? We need to talk. Come to the local Zest at 3 p.m. this Sunday." Without a care of my well-being, Daniel merely relayed his message. "Yes, understood." I quickly responded and hung up the phone. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll be with you." With that, Emma made a call to the lawyer. Then Sunday at 3 p.m. arrived. Emma and I, who had arrived at Zest on time, searched for Daniel. However, there was no sight of Daniel, so we took our seats and waited for him. Perhaps we waited about an hour. I spotted Daniel outside the restaurant entrance. However, there was also a woman next to him. That must be Lily. Despite it still being daylight, Daniel shamelessly hugged the woman before parting ways. With a smug look on his face, Daniel opened the door and entered the restaurant. Upon spotting us, he promptly sat down in front of us. "Oh, Emma, you're here too." Unbothered by our glares, Daniel right out began to speak. "Emily, I've decided to divorce you." "Is that so?" Daniel looked slightly surprised at my rather dry response. "This is the divorce paper. I've already filled it out." "Understood." I promptly received the divorce paper. "And the retirement money and savings are all mine," Daniel said. "No, that's entirely selfish. I will rightly receive alimony and a division of property," I responded. "You were just after my money, weren't you? It's disappointing, but I don't plan to give you a single penny. You should rely on welfare to live." We had been married 30 years. All this time, I had served my domineering husband, even taking care of his parents, who were always treating me poorly. Yet my husband, who'd been lusting over some cheap woman, continued to provoke me on this divorce agreement. I no longer have mercy for this guy and his mistress. "Actually, there's someone I'd like you to meet," I said. "Huh, what? You found a new man?" The man sitting next to me made Daniel pale. "Daniel, your wife was telling the truth," he said. "Why is the department head here?" This man was the head of the department at the company where Daniel worked. "I was contacted by a lawyer acting as your wife's representative. She said that you are likely to get a divorce due to your infidelity. She also expressed concern that you would quickly spend your retirement money with your mistress and asked for a temporary withholding of your retirement fund." "Emily, you even told people at work?" Daniel,
surprised to the point of bulging his eyes, was interrupted by the department head. "It's our first time dealing with an incident like this. I received a call from your wife's attorney about having a discussion today. Considering that the notice of seizure might be fraudulent, I decided to join since I wanted to confirm the truth."
Despite your own infidelity, you falsely accused me of cheating to evade paying alimony. That's why I took measures to prevent it.
"What? You're saying I cheated? Do you have any evidence?"
Then my lawyer brought in Lily, Daniel's mistress.
"I'm Emily's lawyer. Lily here is also related to the case, so I had her come over." Upon confirming the situation, Daniel's department head left and the lawyer took a seat next to me. "I'm here to claim $60,000 in alimony from Daniel for his adultery and for imposing the care of his parents on Emily, and $30,000 from Lily for engaging in adultery with Daniel, despite knowing he was married and causing Emily's marriage to break down." As soon as the lawyer explained in a businesslike manner, Lily slapped Daniel. "You liar! Leave it to me, you said. And now I'm also taking the fall." Daniel, his face red, started to sob. "I didn't know Emily was this smart." I watched the ugly squabble of these two with cold eyes, regretting the 30 years I'd spent with this man. Due to the chaotic situation, we showed evidence of Daniel and Lily's affair and adjourned the meeting. Later, I heard from her lawyer that Lily and her parents had visited the law office to agree to the payment of alimony. Seeing Daniel's pathetic face at the restaurant, Lily's feeling for him died and she broke up with him. On the other hand, the lawyer thought Daniel would request a reduction, but apparently he didn't. Of course, if he doesn't pay, we would take it from his seized retirement fund. I wondered if he was screaming in pain from having to take care of his parents. I have not taken care of them since then. I only took good care of them because I loved Daniel, and they were his parents. But without that love, I could no longer bear the unpaid labor in that hell. Daniel has always been dumping his responsibilities on me. It's only natural that Daniel should take on the role of caregiving. The elderly care surveillance Emma had installed was removed by a contractor the day of their meeting at the diner, so there's no way he would know what was going on. I ended up moving into Emma's place. I was only able to get back at my husband thanks to Emma. It's always been said that children are treasures, but to me, Emma feels more like an angel than a treasure. With this incident, I managed to distance myself from Daniel's family and painfully realized how little attention I was able to give Emma. As her mother, I plan on making up for that by spending time with Emma and creating many more memories with her.